Here in introduction, the public teachers assume that the imperative job of inclusive education, as they view as irrelevant in the exercise of mainstreaming. The study of aims to determine the preparedness of the state-funded teachers toward inclusive education in terms of their awareness, attitudes, and skills. The Education Department of the Philippines, the goal of increasing the number of the children regardless of needs with the help of the school, staff, classmates, parents, and the community. Moreover, the Magna Carta of Disabled Person ensures that disadvantaged persons are offered with the equal access, quality of education. Section 16 states that disabled persons are provided with the vocational or technical and other training programs in preparation for their futures. In line of Department of Education interest in providing quality and inclusive basic education for all, the Department of Education continues to provide the necessary education intervention for the learners certain the exceptionalities through its special education SPED program. The SPED program of the DepEd give all the encompassing methodology in taking into account of the requirements of the student, different exceptionalities. This program guarantees that the pupils' exceptionalities will receive quality training by giving them their individual and one-of-a-kind adapting needs. This activity takes into account pupils with a visual disability, hearing weakness, cognitive incapacity, learning handicap, mental imbalance, range issues, correspondence issue, and physical inability, enthusiastic and behavioral confusion, numerous inability with a visual disability, and their individuals who are orthopedically challenged. So, the SPED programs of the DepEd is a good program for a person with abilities, like for the children who wants to learn in school, but based on their condition, the DepEd give them this SPED program so that their abilities will enhance by the teachers or the chosen teachers. Objectives of the study. This study was conducted to determine the level of awareness of the attitudes of public schools teachers towards the implementation of inclusive education. In particular, it sought to identify the demographic profile of the public school teachers. Second is evaluate the level of the readiness in handling inclusive education in terms of awareness, attitudes, and skills. Third, analyze the significant difference of the level readiness of the teachers towards inclusive education when the group of according profile. Fourth is propose a training program that enhances with awareness, attitude, and skills and teachers toward inclusive education.
The study used the descriptive quantitative method of research. The survey questionnaire and focus group discussion were utilized to determine the readiness of the public school teachers in handling inclusive education. The study was undertaken in 10 elementary public schools recognized as the schools implementing institutionalized SPED classes. Purposive sampling was used considering all full-time mainstream teachers in the 10 implementing institutionalized SPED schools. There were 70 teachers from the 10 implementing institutionalized SPED schools of Cagayan de Oro Division. The instrument of the Dalonos was modified with her consent to be used in this study in determining the teachers' awareness, knowledge, and skill levels in handling inclusive education. The survey questionnaire has 4 parts. First, the respondent's demographic profile. Second, the awareness level. Third, the knowledge level and the skill level of teachers in handling inclusive education. Frequency distribution, percentage, standard deviation, MANOVA, and descriptive statistics were used as statistical tools used in this study. Result and discussion. Public school teachers' demographic profile. The demographic profile of the public school teachers includes age, gender, educational attainment, the field of specialization, teaching position assignment, years of experience in teaching mainstream pupils, and the ratio of mainstream students to the teacher. The first is gender. This result revealed that there were more female than male teachers who participated in the study. Further, this implies that there are more female teachers employed in the Department of Education than males. Second is the age. This disclosed that there were more mainstream teachers who belong to the age of 31 to 35 years old. It means that mainstream teachers have been in the Department of Education for more than 10 years before they were assigned to mainstreaming. In this regard, teachers' experience in the regular classroom in 10 years or more could be a good criterion for becoming mainstream teachers. The third is education. It was revealed that majority of the respondents were graduates of general education. Nevertheless, only one respondent finished the doctoral degree. This implies that these teachers are not motivated to pursue graduate studies since most of them are B.Ed degree holder only. The fourth is specialization. This reveals that many of the mainstream teachers were not majored in special education. This implies that many of the respondents were general education major, and they did not undergo training for mainstreaming. The fifth is the position. This implies that the majority of the mainstream teachers are holding a Teacher 1 position. The Teacher 1 position is the first status given to all teachers who teach in the education agency of the government. 6 is the number of years in mainstream class. This implies that many of the mainstream teachers are still in their first year to 5 years in mainstreaming. Additionally, many of the respondents were neophytes in the mainstreaming curriculum. Moreover, there were only 6% of teachers who had been teaching mainstream from 11 years because some of these teachers migrated and worked abroad. 7 is the ratio of teachers to mainstream students. Majority of the respondents has one-on-one correspondence to their mainstream pupils. Specifically, 64% of the respondents were handling one mainstream student per mainstream teacher. This implies that each pupil's special needs are addressed since the teacher individually addressed them.
That aims to make teachers aware of the needs and interests of all kinds of learners in the context of inclusive education. The need for trainings for teachers should include learners with various needs and interests in structuring lessons. It is important also to educate school heads, special educators, mainstream teachers, and regular teachers on the importance of collaboration among them. Furthermore, it is significant to educate teachers in identifying and applying appropriate and relevant teaching, learning strategies, and assessment in inclusive education.
Conclusions. The public school teachers in the Department of Education have not fully embraced the inclusive education. 1. Teachers were more aware of the need for updated special education training that would equip them in handling pupils' behavior and would provide them teaching strategies in imparting lessons to the mainstream pupils. 2. Teachers were favorable to inclusive education. However, they need to be exposed to training, seminars, and workshops. They were favorable in collaborating with administrators, special education teachers, and mainstream teachers. Teachers were having a difficulty in collaborating with the special education teachers since the latter did not monitor or evaluate the progress of mainstream pupils. However, the teachers are prepared and willing to work with children with disabilities. 3. Teachers were skilled on a personal level. However, teachers needed teaching strategies in handling the mainstream pupils. 4. The age of the teacher is the predictor to the success of inclusive education. It could be because of the experience they had with the pupils with special needs. 5. Finally, the mainstream teachers had difficulties in embracing the program fully. Recommendations. Based on the findings and conclusions, the following recommendations are formulated. 1. They may make programs and allocate budget exclusively for inclusive education to properly address the concerns of the mainstream teachers in inclusive education. 2. They may have a streamline of training, seminars, and workshops on inclusive education to all of their teachers, whether it is mainstream teachers or not. 3. A time series evaluation of inclusive education training effects should be done to ascertain the degree of durability of the changes experienced. 4. They should help the mainstream teachers by sharing them proper modules, Individualized Education Plan or IEP, and varied teaching strategies in handling these mainstream pupils. 5. They need to visit or monitor monthly the progress of these pupils with the mainstream teachers. With this, they can help the mainstream teachers become competent in handling inclusive education. Author's profile. Michael E. Ecoben was a graduate of Doctor of Philosophy, major in Educational Management, and Master of Arts in Teaching Special Education. He also took an undergraduate course for Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Bachelor of Science in Nursing. The author is a teacher in the public school in the Philippines, a Microsoft ambassador, and advocates 21st century skills of a teacher. He likes to validate people to believe in themselves, that they are good, and empower them to follow their dreams no matter how hard they are. He was also interested in research about inclusive education.